Welcome back, everybody. Today we're taking a deep dive into Qigong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that ancient practice of cultivating Qi,
Right.
that vital energy that flows through all of us.
Yeah.
We've got a stack of fascinating sources here,
Mm.
from historical texts to modern research, and I'm
Right.
really curious to uncover how these ancient practices are becoming so relevant in our modern world.
What's so fascinating is that for centuries, Qigong was shrouded in secrecy,
Really?
practiced by martial artists and monks in the mountains.
Wow.
But now, more and more people are discovering its potential
Interesting.
for everything from stress relief
Oh, yeah.
to enhanced well-being.
That's interesting because we're all feeling the pressure these days, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone's looking for that edge,
Yeah.
that way to manage the overwhelm.
Right.
And it seems like Qigong offers a completely different approach.
It does.
Hmm.
Instead of just pushing harder,
Yeah.
Qigong teaches us to work with our energy, to cultivate a sense of balance and flow.
Sure.
It's about understanding how this vital force,
Yeah.
this Qi,
Uh-huh.
operates within us
Right.
and how we can harness it for greater health and vitality.
Okay, so let's break this down a bit. I know we've talked about Qi before, but for those just joining us, can you give us a quick refresher on what this energy actually is?
So Qi is often translated as vital energy
Right.
or life force.
Okay.
It's the energy that animates all living things.
Yeah.
It's not some mystical force,
Okay.
but a very real energy that can be understood and cultivated.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like the electricity that powers our homes
Oh.
or the heat that warms us on a cold day.
So we're basically surrounded by Qi all the time.
Exactly.
It's like we're swimming in it,
Uh-huh.
but we just don't know how to access it.
Qigong gives us the tools to tap into this vast reservoir of energy,
Okay.
to become aware of its flow within us,
Okay.
and to learn how to cultivate and direct it
Right.
for our own benefit.
Wow. Okay. So if Qi is the energy, how do we actually work with it? What are some of the techniques involved in Qigong?
Qigong encompasses a wide range of practices,
Okay.
from gentle movements and breathing techniques to focused meditation and visualization. But at the core of it all is the cultivation of Yi,
Yi.
which translates to mind or intention.
So it's not just about going through the motions.
Right.
You're actively using your mind to guide the energy.
Absolutely.
Ah.
You can see this in Qigong practices like Kan,
Yeah.
which is about feeling the energy,
And Li.
which is about leading it.
Mhm.
It's the mind that directs the process, that helps us become aware of the subtle sensations of Qi and to guide its flow throughout the body.
Whoa. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about physical exercises here. There's a whole mental and energetic component as well. I'm curious, how did these ideas develop historically? Where does Qigong come from?
The history of Qigong is incredibly rich,
Okay.
dating back thousands of years. You can find its roots in ancient Chinese practices, like traditional Chinese medicine, martial arts, and philosophical traditions like Taoism and Buddhism.
Okay, that's a deep connection to history.
Yeah.
I've heard that Taoism played a particularly influential role. What did they believe about Qi and how to work with it?
Taoists view Qi as the fundamental building block of the universe,
Okay.
the energy that flows through everything. They developed elaborate systems for understanding and cultivating Qi, with the goal of achieving health, longevity,
Yeah.
and even spiritual enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Now that's intriguing. But before we get too esoteric, I want to understand how these ancient practices connect to our lives today. What can Qigong offer someone like me who's trying to navigate the stresses of modern life?
Well, yeah, Taoism talks about these three treasures, Baiyan,
Qi?
Qi, and
Qi.
Xing is your esses,
Right.
your vitality. Think of it like your battery.
Gotcha.
Qi, as we've discussed, is the energy that animates you.
Right.
And Shin is your spirit,
Okay.
your consciousness,
Yeah.
your mental and emotional well-being.
Okay, so it's not just about having energy, it's about what you do with it, how you direct it,
Right.
and how it impacts your mind and spirit too. I can see how that could be really powerful.
Exactly. And that's where Qigong comes in.
Yeah.
It's a system for cultivating and harmonizing these three treasures.
Interesting.
It's not just about pumping iron at the gym. It's about cultivating internal strength,
Yeah.
resilience,
Yeah.
and balance on all levels.
So you're saying it's not about stopping my thoughts. It's more about working with them.
Right.
Finding that equilibrium. Because let's be real, my mind is rarely quiet.
You got it. Qigong isn't about forcing your mind to be blank. It's about cultivating a state of awareness, of observing your thoughts and emotions
Okay.
without getting swept away by them. It's like creating space
Yeah.
so you can choose how you respond instead of just reacting.
That makes so much sense. It's like instead of being tossed around by the waves of my thoughts and feelings, I'm learning to surf them. This whole idea of balance seems central to Qigong.
It is. In fact, many Qigong exercises focus on these core principles: rooting, centering,
Yeah.
and balancing. You might have seen those graceful yet powerful stances in Tai Chi, which is actually a form of Qigong.
Oh, right. Like that horse stance I've seen people doing in the park. It looks
Yeah.
so simple, but I bet it takes a lot of strength and focus.
It does. Those postures aren't just for show. They're designed to cultivate stability, both physically and energetically. Think of it this way. You need a strong foundation to build a house.
Okay.
In Qigong, that foundation is your connection to the earth, your sense of grounding,
Yeah.
of being rooted.
So it's more than just physical posture. It's about feeling that connection, that energy flowing between you and the earth.
Exactly. And from that rootedness, you can then find your center. Centering is about finding that still point within yourself, a place of balance and equilibrium. It's like finding your inner compass,
Right.
that point of stability amidst the chaos of life.
So it's not just about standing on one leg. This balance thing goes much deeper.
It does. It's about finding that harmony between your physical, mental, and energetic states. It's a dynamic process of constantly adjusting and adapting, just like life itself.
Okay, so we've got rooting, centering, and balancing. But how do we actually get there? What are the tools Qigong gives us to cultivate these qualities?
It all starts with awareness,
Okay.
becoming more attuned to your body, your breath,
Mm.
and your mind, and then using specific techniques to regulate and harmonize these three aspects.
It's not just about doing the exercises. It's about cultivating that inner awareness, like noticing how your body feels, how your breath is flowing, what's going on in your mind.
You got it. It's about developing that internal listening
Yeah.
so you can sense what's out of balance and then use Qigong techniques to restore harmony.
Okay, so break it down for me. How do you regulate the body, breath, and mind in Qigong? What does that actually look like?
Well, regulating the body starts with relaxation,
Okay.
learning to let go of tension, to soften and release any tightness you're holding. It's about creating space for qi to flow freely.
You know, I'm always hearing about how important relaxation is, but I never really understood why. So you're saying when we're tense and stressed, we're actually blocking the flow of qi.
Exactly. When your muscles are tight, your energy gets constricted. It's like trying to force water through a narrow pipe.
Oh.
Relaxation is key to allowing qi to circulate properly throughout the body. And that's where breath work comes in.
Breath work.
The breath is like the bridge between the body and mind.
Okay.
It's the link between our physical and energetic systems.
Okay, this is where I always get a bit lost. Can you explain how the breath influences our energy flow? Is there a special way to breathe in Qigong?
There are specific breathing techniques that help calm the mind, energize the body, and direct the flow of qi. But even simple awareness of the breath can make a big difference. Just noticing the natural rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest, can bring you back to the present moment and help you feel more grounded and centered.
That makes sense. It's like when I'm feeling stressed. Shift my energy. So we've covered regulating the body and the breath. What about regulating the mind? That seems like the trickiest part.
It can be, but it's also the most rewarding. Regulating the mind in Qigong is about cultivating a calm, focused awareness. It's not about emptying the mind completely, but rather about learning to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting carried away by them.
So it's like creating that space between you and your thoughts, like not getting so caught up in the drama of your own mind.
Exactly. It's about becoming the observer rather than the reactor. And from that place of stillness and clarity, you can begin to guide your qi more effectively.
I'm starting to see how these different pieces fit together. You've got the physical postures, the breath work, and the mental focus. It's like a whole system for working with your energy on multiple levels. But I have to ask, what about those mystical aspects of Qigong we often hear about, like healing with your hands or breaking objects with your qi? Is there any truth to those claims?
Those are often the aspects of Qigong that capture people's imaginations. And while it's important to approach such claims with a healthy dose of skepticism,
Right.
there's also a growing body of evidence suggesting that qi can have profound effects on the human body and beyond.
So you're saying there might be more to these superpowers than just myth and legend?
It's certainly an area that warrants further exploration.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that the real power of Qigong lies in its ability to help us cultivate balance and harmony within ourselves.
Right.
And from that place of inner strength, we can then begin to tap into our full potential.
I love that perspective. It's not about seeking external power, but about cultivating the power that already resides within us, it feels like we're just scratching the surface of Qigong. There's so much to learn and explore.
Yeah, it really is. The exploration of Qi is an ongoing journey. And, the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know.
It's like opening a door to a whole new world. So for our listeners who are eager to dive deeper, what resources would you recommend?
Well, Dr. Yang Jwing-Ming's book, The Root of Chinese Qigong, is an excellent place to start.
Okay.
It provides a comprehensive overview of the history, theory, and practice of Qigong. There are also many videos and online resources available that can guide you on your journey.
Perfect. We'll definitely include links to those resources in our show notes. This has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of Qigong and its potential.
It's been a pleasure sharing this exploration with you,
Yeah.
and I hope it inspires our listeners to embark on their own Qigong journeys.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Qigong, I'm curious, what resonates most with you about this practice? What's that one takeaway you want our listeners to ponder?
You know, what fascinates me
Yeah.
is that Qigong reminds us that we are not just physical beings,
Right.
but also energetic beings.
Yeah.
We are interconnected with the energy that flows through everything in the universe.
Wow.
And when we learn to tap into that energy,
Uh-huh.
we can unlock incredible potential for healing,
Yeah.
growth, and transformation.
That's a powerful thought to leave our listeners with. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Qigong. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep cultivating that vibrant energy within yourselves. And